Have you ever heard of a kingdom that tried to stand shoulder to shoulder with one of history's greatest empires? A kingdom that, for a brief, shining moment, carved out its own destiny between the mountains and the sea? Today, we're journeying back over 2,000 years to uncover the dramatic story of Nanyue, the southern Yu, and its fateful collision with the mighty Han Dynasty. This isn't just a tale of conquest. It's a story of ambition, diplomacy, betrayal, and a cultural legacy that resonates to this day. Our story begins not with the Han, but with the dynasty that came before it, the Qin. In the late 3rd century BC, the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, unified the warring states and then set his sights on the south. He sent a massive army to conquer the lands of the Baiyu, or 100 Yu peoples, a collection of diverse tribes inhabiting what is now southern China and northern Vietnam. One of the commanders in this campaign was a man named Zhao Tu. When the Qin dynasty collapsed in a storm of rebellion just a few years later, China was plunged back into chaos. Zhao Tu, stationed far from the heartland, saw his opportunity. Instead of getting entangled in the fight for the imperial throne, he secured his southern territory, sealed the mountain passes, and in 204 BC declared himself the martial king of Nanyue. His new kingdom, with its capital at Panyu near modern-day Guangzhou, was a vibrant multicultural state. It was a fusion of Han Chinese administrators and soldiers who had marched south, and the local Yu peoples with their own distinct customs and traditions. Zhao Tu even adopted many Yu customs himself, a shrewd political move to win the loyalty of his diverse subjects. For a time, Nanyue flourished. It controlled crucial trade routes, both maritime and overland, becoming a prosperous intermediary between the Han Empire and the lands of Southeast Asia. When the Han Dynasty was finally established under Emperor Gaozu, he recognized the reality on the ground. A costly war in the unfamiliar, humid south was not appealing. So, in 196 BC, he officially recognized Zhao Tu as the king of Nanyue, establishing a vassal relationship. It was a classic case of diplomacy. The Han got a buffer state on its southern border, and Nanyue got to maintain its autonomy. This delicate balance worked for a while. Zhao Tu paid tribute to the Han court, and trade flowed freely. But tensions simmered beneath the surface. The Han court was always wary of Nanyue's growing power and independence. During the reign of Empress Lu, relations soured, and she imposed a trade embargo on Nanyue, cutting off its supply of iron, a crucial resource for tools and weapons. How did Zhao Tu respond? He went all in. He declared himself the martial emperor of the southern Yu, placing himself on equal footing with the Han emperor. This was a direct challenge to the Son of Heaven, a monumental act of defiance. He began launching attacks on neighboring Han-controlled territories, proving that his kingdom was a force to be reckoned with. When Emperor Wen of Han came to the throne, he took a more conciliatory approach. He reversed the embargo, sent envoys with gifts, and even had the graves of Zhao Tu's relatives in China properly cared for. His diplomacy worked. Zhao Tu, now an old man, renounced his title of emperor and reaffirmed his allegiance to the Han, at least in name. The crisis was averted, and peace was restored. Zhao Tu lived to be over 100 years old, outliving several Han emperors. His long reign provided stability and allowed Nanyue's unique culture to blossom. But the dynasty he founded would not be so long-lived. His successors lacked his political acumen and his deep connection to both the Han and Yu cultures. The kingdom's leadership became increasingly divided. The final act begins with the fourth king, Zhao Xing, who was young and inexperienced. His mother, the Dowager Queen, was actually a Han Chinese woman from the capital, Chang'an. She had a previous relationship with a Han envoy named Angguo Shaoji, who was sent to the Nanyue court. Fearing the growing power of the Nanyue prime minister, Lei Jia, a man of Yu descent, who commanded the loyalty of the army and the people. Dowager Queen and the young king pushed for full integration into the Han Empire. They wanted to dissolve Nanyue's independence in exchange for the security and prestige of being part of the Han realm. This was a deeply unpopular proposal among the Nanyue elite. For Lo Jia and his followers, it was a betrayal of everything Zhao Tu had built. They saw it as surrendering their kingdom and their identity. The Han court, under the ambitious Emperor Wu, saw its chance. Emperor Wu was a ruler who vastly expanded the Han Empire in all directions, and the independent-minded southern kingdom had long been on his agenda. He sent an army of 2,000 men to escort the Nanyue king and his mother back to the Han capital, but this was seen by Lo Jia as a prelude to an invasion. The situation exploded. Lo Jia staged a coup. He executed the Dowager Queen, the young King Zhao Xing, and the Han envoys. He then installed another of Zhao Tu's grandsons on the throne and prepared for war. The time for diplomacy was over. Emperor Wu was furious. This act of open rebellion could not be tolerated. In the autumn of 112 BC, he dispatched a massive invasion force. It was a multi-pronged attack with over 100,000 soldiers, including experienced generals, naval squadrons, and even pardoned criminals. They advanced on Nanyue from 4 different directions. The Nanyue forces, despite their fierce reputation and knowledge of the local terrain, were overwhelmed. Lo Jia, as resistance, was spirited, but ultimately futile against the sheer scale and organization of the Han army. The Han forces converged on the capital Panyu. After a fierce siege, the city fell in 111 BC. Lo Jia and the last king of Nanyue tried to escape by sea, but they were captured and executed. With the fall of Panyu and the death of its leadership, the kingdom of Nanyue ceased to exist. Emperor Wu divided the territory into 9 commanderies, or administrative provinces, directly incorporating it into the Han Empire. The conquest of Nanyue marked the end of an era of semi-independence for the region and the beginning of over 1,000 years of direct Chinese rule over what is now northern Vietnam and the southern Chinese provinces of Guangdong and Guangxi. This conquest had profound and lasting consequences. It accelerated the process of Sinicization, the spread of Han culture, language, and political systems into the south. Han settlers moved into the new territories, and the local Yu peoples were gradually assimilated. The establishment of Han commanderies integrated the region firmly into the economic and political life of the empire, opening it up for further development and trade. However, it also sowed the seeds of future conflict, particularly in the southernmost region of Jiaozi in modern-day Vietnam, where resistance to Chinese rule would flare up for centuries to come. The story of Nanyue and its fall is a powerful reminder of the clash of empires and the complex interplay of power, culture, and identity. It's a tale of a kingdom that dared to dream of its own imperial destiny, only to be absorbed by one of history's most powerful states. The artifacts left behind, like the magnificent tomb of the second king, Zhao Mo, discovered in Guangzhou, give us a stunning glimpse into the wealth and unique culture of this lost southern kingdom. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the hidden corners of history. Let me know in the comments what you think about the rise and fall of Nanyue. Until next time, stay curious.